Yo, what's up, everybody? Lobo here with Danamalore and YoJimbo. And joining us today, we got Blah Blah Binks. What's up, Sith Jar Jar?
I should have planned for trying to sound like him. I did not do that though.
No, that's racist. You'll get canceled.
I will not lie.
Thankfully, yeah, don't do that.
You're canceled the show. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've had about a month off of Star Wars stuff since what was the last thing we did was Tales of the Empire, which was more of Tales of the Jedi than anything Empire specific. But yeah, so we got some new Star Wars stuff. Did you guys hear any Star Wars news over the last couple days?
Yeah.
What'd you hear?
It was about Ahsoka season 2. Hayden Christensen is gonna reprise his role as Anakin Skywalker.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yep.
That came out this morning.
And the Rey movie's in development hell.
Yeah.
No surprise there. That's fine. I have no interest in that one, so they can just skip to the Mando movie.
Yeah.
But
That's
generally speaking, though, it's not good to have a movie in development that doesn't actually have a script. It's not like one of those. It's not one of those like minor technical details that we have to work out in like post production to have a script.
They'll fix it in post.
I mean, look at like I know it's not Star Wars, but over there in Marvel, Blade is still in another script rewrite.
Dang.
And they announced that movie. Though at least they announced Mahershala Ali playing the role back in 2019. So it's been a minute.
It's gonna be Grandpa Blade by the time it comes out.
Well, you know, vampires are immortal. They could be as old as they need to be. It's actually what's going to end up happening. It'll just be another Wesley Snipes movie.
I'd be down with that. I like the original Blade movies.
I did. I like the original Blade movies way more than that Blade TV show that they had.
I never saw that.
Yeah, it didn't do too well. It was on like the CW app for a while. It was kind of strange. But let's see what else. There was something else. Oh, D. Bradley Baker did some interview, and he was talking about the unfinished clone stories that we didn't get, closure on with the current animated stuff. So people are speculating that means a new animated series is going to be coming out. And we need that because a year without Star Wars animation is a wasted year.
I have no doubt they're going to have another one. That's easy. That's a layup.
Right.
Yeah.
But all that being said, I guess we should probably just go ahead and get on this the new stuff. Acolyte. We got our very first Asian Jedi Master. At least I saw some article with that headline earlier.
Racist.
That's what I was thinking.
You're trying to cancel our show already.
Don't worry, they changed the accent of the Trade Federation.
Wait, what? What about the Trade Federation?
I said at least they changed the accent for the Trade Federation now.
Yeah.
It's slightly less.
It's less offensive.
Slightly less offensive. Slightly less offensive.
There was also the credit sequence. The mask are slightly different.
Oh, I didn't notice that, but yeah, they seem to be doing that every show now.
Yep.
What they add the Sith Master or something's mask? What was it that they changed?
There is a it looks like a Republic Starfighter helmet. 3PO's model has like more detail.
Okay. Cool. Little Easter eggs. What was the name of the episode?
The name of the episode is Lost/Found.
Okay. I'm seeing
So-
a theme here because there's also a slash in the second episode.
Yes,
name
it's
too, but we'll
it's
get to
they're
that.
gonna be going off that whole duality twin thing, I think, for the entire franchise. But we get a nice little like preamble to the deal, complete with a 4 dot ellipses at the end here.
Yes, very solo movie.
Quite bold. It's
It
the right.
reminded-
It's a bold font. It's the same font in bold.
Uh-huh. It reminded me of the beginning of the solo movie. Like
Yeah.
with the ominous music and then the just the text wall.
Big old text wall.
Because I mean every project has like slightly different variations on the way they do this. And
Or don't
this,
do
this
it.
actually or don't do it. This one kind of reminds me of something they've done before, which is, I don't hate it or anything, it's just what it is.
Right.
So we got to give credits out to Leslie Headland. She's directed and wrote this series and this episode.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I was like, kind of, how many times am I going to see her name in the beginning, in the opening credits there?
there's-
Holy crap!
there's the elephant in the room, and I don't know if Blah Blah Binks knows this. Is Blah Blah Binks still in the room?
Yeah,
Is
I'm
still
here.
there? Okay, so Leslie Headland is a woman director writer, a bit controversial. Again, the elephant in the room because she was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so this is part of the big controversy over the show and giving her a shot at her own Star Wars thing. And I'm only going to mention it this one time in this first episode, but we just have to. Yeah. So that's some
I
that's
didn't
some
know that.
history there. Yeah.
it's kind of
She was
amazing that
personal-
she didn't get canceled because it's kind of like, how do you not know?
That's part of the
Yeah.
controversy behind the production of this show for years now, as we've been waiting for it. So
How do you work as a production assistant for the
yes.
the
guy who's the orcs and Lord of the Rings is modeled after? Like the orcs' faces are modeled after Harvey Weinstein, and once you see it, you can never unsee it. That's a different franchise, different universe. Never mind. So yeah, I'm just leaving that here. That was the one thing. We're gonna judge this show based on its merit on the writing and the directing and everything else. But yeah, there's that. So that's an interesting little tidbit, and that's it for the credits that I have on this one. So we can.
Well, yeah.
I like seeing Lee Jung-jae do something outside of Squid Game, which is all I've ever seen him in. It took me a minute to
Is that what he's
figure
from?
out who he was.
He looked so familiar. I was like, "Who? This guy? I know this guy. Is he in like a kung fu movie that I saw?" Or
Yeah, it took me about half the episode to put it together because I was trying not to look at my phone to see who it was, and then it clicked, and I was like, "Oh, right."
yeah, who did he play in the show?
He played the main character, whose name is. His name is what? I'm going to butcher this. I have no idea how to say the name
Racist.
from the show, but it's Song Ji-hun, I believe.
Okay.
It's what he was called in the show, and he's like the main character.
He was the kind of loser guy that goes on the show because he's desperate for money. That guy?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. For some reason, I thought he was the cop, but that was somebody else.
Yeah, no, he wasn't the cop.
All those Asians look the same to me. I just had to say that. I'm canceled. We might as well wrap it up, guys. We're canceled.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to cancel myself, you know who he really reminded me of, and this is just my algorithm. I occasionally will get these videos of this plastic surgeon, this younger Asian plastic surgeon, and they're like doppelgangers. They totally look the same. Cancel me if you will, but literally they look the same.
That's funny.
I was like, it couldn't be him. It's got to be somebody else.
Right. I just wanted to just to touch on what Dan said about Leslie working for Harvey Weinstein. Apparently, she only worked for him for 4 years.
Oh, only 4 years. Okay.
Only 4 years.
What 4 years though?
Right? Yeah.
Was it Uma Thurman 4 years or?
I don't. She said it says Her experience during that time is what inspired her 2012 play Assistance. So
Was it Julia Ormond who also got destroyed by him?
I'm not sure.
I don't know who that is.
I
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll never work in this town again.
Yeah, she was like
It's
she was a big
classic
thing
Hollywood.
for a while there, and then I think she was one of the ones who just got.
Well, I'm not gonna.
But she's also the person behind Russian Doll and Sleeping with Other People and Bachelorette.
Yeah. Jar Jar likes Russian Doll.
Yes, Russian Doll is good.
Yeah, no, she has background and history. Oh, sorry. Do I have background sound? Let me fix that. Okay, there. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so now that we got that out of the way, all
Yeah.
cards on the table. No secrets left behind.
No,
Mm-mm.
it's a cool looking island, right?
Yep.
A little tunnel. I didn't notice that first time through, or the second time through. But there is some ruins there too as well, so that's kind of cool. But we get our first look at the yet unnamed character played by oh my god, her name just fell out of my head. What's the main
May
actress's
is the
name?
other one. Oh, the actress's name.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have been more prepared for that one.
I had it up and I blew it. Sorry, I'm trying to be your little researcher while we do this.
It's all right. It's all right. It's like we've been gone for a month, so we're a little
Amanda Stenberg. Yeah.
Amanda Stenberg. That's it.
Mandla. That's interesting.
Amanda, yeah.
They misspelled the name on the birth certificate and they just went with it.
Right. Right. So this is her. So they've done. So Binks and I watched this together, and I withheld all information, so she didn't know what the twist that we were all kind of privy to if we were paying attention to the
I don't know if
behind
this
the
is
scenes
the
stuff.
stream
Yeah,
or
but-
whatever, but that looks very video game-ish, that one shot. I don't know if it's in the volume. No shade. I didn't notice it when I was...
Allegedly, there's no volume shooting in this.
Oh, they went to Ueda, the real planet, to shoot it.
They went to Ueda. That's true.
They went to Ueda.
I mean, it's just right over there.
You ain't lived until you've been to Ueda.
So we get her doing bribing a local beggar, it looks like, for information. And at this point in time in the galaxy, Jedi are just like normal, like monks or just like your local church, like where the priests.
both your
They're
police
guardians
and
of
your
justice
church.
and peace in the galaxy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Whoa.
You know, the one thing that I got, the one thing that I got right off the bat from the show, and I know you don't like it, Lobo, but KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, like that's the same vibe from that game as in this.
Peak
like,
power.
It's a different time, but because Star Wars technology plateaus, so everything's pretty much the same, just different.
Mhm.
But the vibe was KOTOR, which I like KOTOR, so I like the vibe from this too. It's not the same. It's not in the same time period that we're used to, but there's enough there going on. So that has that going for it.
What do you think's in that thing's mask?
Warwick
That's what I was
Davis.
wondering. Like, is that just what he is, or
I
is
think
he
it's what he
wearing something?
I think
Very
it's their
hairy.
atmosphere.
Right.
It's their breathing apparatus. Hence,
But you could see like there's like a clear nose shape that looks like it actually has nostrils.
Right. Yeah. And I did rewatch the beginning earlier just so I could, like, I don't know, remind myself of a couple of things. And I still was like, what is that? I'm a noob to this universe. I've only ever seen Return of the Jedi when it came out in the theaters. and I
first
saw.
Don't date yourself.
Well, I
No, I'm
mean,
just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
it was a re-release.
Yeah.
In the 90s. Nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And episode 1 are the only. Oh no, Eric and I watched A New Hope at some point, but I don't remember it very well. So, yeah. Outside of like Star Wars, Disneyland Star Wars stuff, I'm definitely green.
Right. So yeah, so this alien doesn't get a name, species wise or
In the subtitles.
character wise. It just says speaks alien language in the subtitles. So
It's got its bubble neck.
yeah. And
Oops. Sorry.
this mysterious woman proceeds to the bar and confronts Master Indara, challenges her
Carry
to
on, Moss.
yeah.
I would just like
Hey.
to talk about like the fact that we're gonna deal with like one of the kung fu movie tropes too.
This is straight up.
Oh,
She
yeah.
walks into a noodle shop.
Yeah,
Even the people laugh.
yeah,
She
like
walks into a noodle shop that has a staircase.
Yeah, if it's a noodle shop, there's gonna be a fight.
Yeah,
right?
if you
It's,
see
it's a
like
thing.
Or-
you see
a
any
cabbage
action
stand.
movie and you see like noodles, like people
Uh-huh.
sitting eating noodles, like there's a pretty good chance there's about to be a fight in an action movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Definitely.
I was kind of bummed how short her time was in this. I honestly thought she was going to be in this series.
I don't think that that's it because just the nature of like the next like the rest of the episode and then the next episode, like we're definitely going to see the incident that caused like the entire thing to go.
Yeah,
Right.
there's
Okay.
there's a lot of footage of Carrie Ann Moss in the trailers even
Mhm.
that aren't in this first episode.
Yeah,
It would
Good,
seem
good.
crazy to not use her. For,
Right? I was like,
Yeah.
what?
That's what I did. Me and Eric had the same, or Lobo, sorry, had the same discussion yesterday while we were
Cancel the show.
canceled.
Secret's out.
Secret is out. Yeah,
Just
we have the same.
given the second episode, we are going to have extensive flashbacks, I assume.
Right. Yeah.
What I liked about this is she has not lost a step as far as her Matrix kung fu.
100%.
You could tell that the other person's a noob, and she was like, "I did this for like 10 years. I am a kung fu master, actually."
Yeah.
Also, she did it like what 2 years ago. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she did it. She did the fourth one, and she was great in that too.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
there was
lot
a
of people
fourth
didn't
one
like
of
it.
those.
Yeah, the fourth one's like an epilogue to the series, and people were like, "Oh, it's not as good as the original." It's like it's not. Was never meant to be.
it was
The first three
literally a
movies.
message about like commercialization and like marketing, like ruining the original idea. Like they made a movie about like you should not have made this movie, and then it was like let's lean into the movie about not like doing this
I
movie.
enjoyed the heck out of it actually. Just
So did I, because I got the like there's a
Keanu
subtext
Reeves
of,
and
like,
her sitting in a coffee shop, like reminiscing about old time. Like I don't know. It was,
Coffee
And
shop,
people were
though, not
expecting-
noodles. So there wasn't a fight.
Yeah, exactly.
no, there was still a fight, but it was a later scene though. It wasn't in that. It wasn't in the coffee
Yeah, it
shop.
wasn't in that coffee shop.
Uh-huh.
I still haven't seen it. I don't know if I ever will.
It's not necessary, but I enjoyed it. It's not necessary to enjoy this.
Mhm.
It's an epilogue. It's like reminiscing about the.
There's a bit about like rebooting franchises in the movie that's trying to reboot the franchise,
Uh-huh.
talking about like the marketing, like what the marketing on this idea is. Yeah.
But yeah, very well choreographed, and there's a lot of that in these first two episodes. But it's specifically.
Oh
the
yeah,
scene.
I definitely felt like I was watching not a Star Wars movie or show, but a kung fu show. You know,
Especially
like,
when she like makes the declaration of attack me with all your strength.
yeah, I was like, wait, I saw this
She has to,
episode,
and like she's compelled to say that too because she does it again. Later.
right? But
I think it's to set him off balance though, because just
Yeah.
put it into their head like
what?
it's not what we
And
do.
and she's unarmed too.
Yeah,
Then
And
she,
he's unarmed.
Kate Moss even
Well,
mentions that.
kinda.
That
I
is
mean,
Unarmed lightsaber, unarmed, like actual advanced
Unarmed-
weapon.
it's exploiting
unarmed-
the code.
immediately in her hands, unarmed.
Yeah,
I mean, she
but the
has
thing is,
weapons.
it's exploiting the Jedi code.
Derpy,
She can use everything except a lightsaber or a blaster. You fell asleep. I mean,
were you up
it might
past
have
your
been late at night.
bedtime or what?
yeah, you worked hard. I understand. I only watched one episode last night before I had to crash. But the episode itself didn't put me to sleep. At least the first episode, yeah.
All right.
Um,
So we got during
this is the
this
scene.
fight though, we got repeated grab attempts of the lightsaber, which was
Seems
kind
to be
of
an ongoing attack strategy for her.
yeah. So that was
What would have happened if she grabbed the lightsaber?
um
Was she just trying to disarm her, or was she to use it against her?
A little bit of both.
yeah, probably a little of both, but like I was saying a second ago, she's not exactly unarmed. She has these little knives hidden all over her person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, no blaster, no lightsaber, everything else. She had ninja stars. She had nets. And
So there are rules.
bolos,
You're not
yeah.
considered without a weapon unless it's certain.
Yeah, she can use like conventional stuff.
Right.
Because that lightsaber like just split those in half.
Right.
You just see those.
yeah, it just and practically melted them when she
Yeah.
does that little throw across.
And she does end up killing Kate Moss with the
Kate
with the
Moss,
little-
what?
with the-
Not Kate Moss.
I don't know what her character
Carry
name
on,
is.
carry on, Moss.
Oh
Man,
yeah,
we should have done more for our last episode
carry on.
Oh.
Moss.
because we are canceled now.
Kate Moss. That's funny.
Oh, yeah. Well, would it be
All
wrong for
white
me
people
to
look the
point
same
out
to
that
me.
that all the people that have died in the first two episodes were white people?
It might help.
But yeah, so I'm trying to get it to the spot here. She almost gets stabbed in the face, which is kind of cool. Let's see. Here, I'm just gonna throw that up real quick. Thunk.
And the camera movements are such kung fu movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super, like, it's got wire work and everything. It's if you don't like Star Wars but you like martial arts, the show's actually pretty good. Like, you don't have to be into the Star Wars part to enjoy it. But yeah, let's see here. Carrie-Anne Moss totally, or Master Indara totally could have just ended it right now if she was like a regular, I don't know, if she was as bad as this character is accusing her of being. She's got, I kind of stopped it a little short, but she's got a dagger up, over May, and she could just bring it down, be done. No one would have had to die, but
We don't know she's
everyone
May yet.
else. No, but we
But
do
yes.
get the "Who are you?" and we get the face reveal. It's definitely Amanda Stenberg.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. And
But yeah, because I was actually looking at the cast online, and she's listed as May, not as.
Yeah,
As
what happened
Osha.
was
Not as
that,
Osha?
in the original press, they said that like your character is May, and then like somewhere like last week they accidentally put in another thing that had another name, and they were like,
Oh, right, because they're trying to hide the
Yes.
reveal.
yes. So that was where the leak came from.
Right.
Mhm.
I didn't see any of that because I don't follow any of that stuff. So
I've been avoiding all the news about this.
they,
Yeah, there
they
was-
definitely had me.
There was
Harvey Weinstein
there was
stuff.
actually I think it was like either some interview or a red carpet event or something where
Mhm.
Amanda herself says, one of the characters that I play is this, the other one is that, and it's like, oh, come on.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it wasn't like one of those psychotic break things though, where it's like I have a double personality.
Right, because of the way that after this opening little fight scene, and Osho wakes up like
Mhm, the way they
clearly
cut it.
out of a bad dream.
Mhm.
Like, so
there's definitely
that
there's
was-
definitely a degree of force connection between them, even though they're like not they're sure that the other one's alive. I also wanted to point out, Dan, you mentioned Knights of the Old Republic, and Carrie Ann Moss's character has the Bastila Shan haircut. the tied down ponytail.
Oh, I just
It's
thought
kind
that
of
was
like Ray's, but different.
okay. I don't remember that character, but I just got the KOTOR vibe from this show in general.
She was like the main
Star Wars in
character.
the past, basically
Yeah.
ancient past, and it's not really that ancient. It's only 100 years
No.
before.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic is what, 1,000?
Yeah, thousands. Couple
Thousands?
thousands.
Okay.
Yeah,
All I know is that stormtroopers ain't there.
yeah. There's no stormtroopers in this either.
No, I know.
There's
There's
no
enough kung
There's no
fu to make
Empire.
up. There's enough kung fu to make up for it.
Do they not exist at this point in time?
There's definitely battle armor that looks exactly
Well, in the opening words, it says 100 years before the Empire, Rise of the
Oh.
Empire.
Okay.
So there's no stormtroopers, there's no Empire, there's no
There's not
Empire.
even clone troopers aren't even an idea yet.
Nope. It's just the Galactic Republic.
Got it.
Yeah. And
Sorry,
Jedi's
folks,
are
learning
like
as I go.
Jedi's are like the cops. They settle disputes and peacemakers.
They're not very good at it.
They're the Catholic Church.
Yeah, they're the old Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Both like militant and spiritual.
Right.
It's funny you say they're not that good at it, and this is at their peak. So this shows you how things in 100 years, how bad things get by the time.
I can't wait till we get to Yord.
Fjord. Yeah.
Yord?
Soon. All right, we'll pick up the pace a little bit. So the fight ultimately culminates with May throwing a dagger at the bartender who's clunking around behind the bar, distracts Master Indara just enough for May to just stab her in the chest or throw a knife into her chest.
Which completely shocked me. By the way, I gasped.
it kind of looks like it shocks her too.
Yeah.
You know, we get
had to set some stakes though right away.
Yeah,
can't set the
like,
low stakes.
It's like they're gonna kill off the main, not the main, but like the biggest name attached to the show as far as the
I'll just say it now though. If you set the stakes and you say that like we're killing basically like one of the star power right off the bat,
right? It's like Scream.
I need more high stakes deaths then. Otherwise, it's just a like stunt casting. Like it's a Game of Thrones stunt casting.
Right. Have they learned nothing from the Game of Thrones?
Yeah, they did. Have a big star and kill them. That's what they learned.
Right.
But like I said, I suspect that we'll see backstory.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But they did. So I thought this was kind of interesting. During the fight, May tried to grab Indara's lightsaber a couple times, but at the end of the fight, she just walks away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Just leaves it there on the floor.
Yeah, I was curious, wasn't it?
I mean, General Grievous had the right idea, I think.
No.
Keep them all. Keep all the lightsabers.
It's the exploiting the code thing. That if she has the lightsaber, she instantly becomes like a target for like an aggressive lightsaber user. And without the lightsaber or other thing capable of like standing toe to toe or parry a lightsaber, which I think is what it comes down to. It's like, can you parry a lightsaber? If you can, then you're a threat. And if you can't, then you're not really a threat. And we're not.
Oh, she couldn't just keep it at her locker under her bed or something.
Yeah,
like,
we just take it
one
home. leave it on
lightsaber
her
is enough to
ship.
buy like a planet.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
not
Yeah.
that much,
they
but,
make
like,
it clear that they're working on their own code.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's got a pretty clear mission, it seems like.
And
maybe-
it's also how she gets close enough to
Right.
the other Jedi is that like she doesn't have
So
the intent. She's
are
not carrying-
lightsabers like? Do people know if somebody else has a lightsaber? Is there some kind of like Jedi?
No, but it's the
Okay,
whole like subtext of like this is based off of like samurai movies, and if you have
Right.
the intent and you're highly attuned to it, you know the other person's intent that is to be there to harm you with their weapon,
right.
and not having that weapon like masked or keeps it like just like just
Right.
not pinging that threat.
Right. So we get May goes down to the bartender because he's seen her face. He gets an even more close up look, but May ultimately doesn't kill him because of this little bug looking kid. I don't know. Did they didn't give that bartender a species name or even a character name, as far as I'm aware. I didn't watch the credits, but
wait for the action.
so
figure.
all of this takes place before we get the opening little title card. So that's kind of cool. You kill your biggest star before the opening title card,
Dun, dun, dun.
and then boom, we get into.
This part reminds me of The Fifth Element.
It's a little bit, but we also we get introduced to the other character that Amanda's portraying, and this droid thing, little Pip, who is a wrench, a fire extinguisher,
utility droid,
a
uh-huh.
soldering
It's a
iron.
multi-tool.
He's a
Reminds
taser.
me of Jedi Survivor, that little robot that Cal Kestis has, but
Well,
smaller. This is even
speaking of Star
smaller.
Wars video games, I also noticed that the outfit that she's wearing here is almost identical to the outfit that the protagonist of the Star Wars Outlaws game from Ubisoft is wearing in the cover art. The same kind of vest with the gray under, so yeah.
very
So I think-
utilitarian.
So these, very utilitarian. And so these people are called mechnecs, MEKNEK, according to the subtitles. So not quite a mechanic, but a mechanic.
It's like a redneck.
Yeah, that's what I was like. This some kind of redneck joke,
No, it's I think they're a reference to a roughneck,
or
basically.
a roughneck or a leatherneck. Yeah,
Like a roughneck is a hand on an oil rig. So basically,
okay.
he's a mechanic and
Yeah.
roughneck combined into one. And I'm jumping ahead, but they point out like dangerous job, huh? It's like flexibility. And it's like literally flexibility.
Yeah,
Because you can reach down and just grab a thing.
I think it was I was watching a little bit of Star Wars Santa's stream earlier today, and he pointed out that one of the viewers pointed out that this character OSHA is doing a job that our
It's not
real
safe.
world OSHA would not
Would
approve
like.
of.
Yes. She is a violator of OSHA safety.
So, but so this guy, he was like, "Why didn't you come out?" And they name drops Nar Shaddaa, which is in Hutt space. So apparently
There's meant to be a time jump here between Andara dying and
this occurring.
yes.
I don't think so. I think
No,
it might
a little bit. There's a little bit of a time jump.
So if it's not that much, then I completely missed this. Because like I said, I watched like the first 15 minutes again earlier.
It's not much.
And
of a
when
time
they
jump.
show May, she has her long hair. And if there's not much of a time jump, like I just completely missed that it could have been two separate people. I completely missed that she had her long hair in that opening sequence.
Right. Yeah. May's hair is much longer than
Then
Osha's.
Osha's, yeah.
Well, not much longer. It's a little bit longer, but she's also got that head scarf thing on too. So it enhances.
She has the same like face framed haircut, but then she's got those long braids in the back.
Yeah.
Which I did not see the first time we watched it at all.
Right. Well, they don't want. I mean, they don't
want to make it totally obvious. No, I get it.
They would probably have preferred people to have figured it out at the same time as the Jedis figure it out.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But oh yeah, so we get our first little glimpse of some Nemoidians.
Yay!
Coming down
I want
the
to hear
hall.
some trade negotiations.
Right, with their silly big hats.
Now there are two of them.
Oh,
They're racist.
You know what this show had? A different kind of space porn that they usually don't have in Star Wars.
with
Like
what do you
walking
mean?
on a ship that's barely moving, or like you can't tell it's perceptibly moving. Expanse style, like establishing shots of space.
So Osha and that other guy, I've already forgot his name. I'm not sure if they even say it.
Billick.
They
name's
head
Billick.
out, and we get our first and second looks. Second and third looks at a humanoid character in outer space wearing protective gear. We got our first glimpse of this in the Ahsoka series, and now here we are again, which is kind of cool because we don't really get that.
Yep.
You know,
We got some grav boots and some carabiners.
yeah, some mag boots, like yeah.
Somebody's been watching The Expanse.
Well, tricks are the best tricks. They're not
It's,
Jedi, so they got to use real equipment.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get probably one of the funniest lines in the episode. You know, the grease scrubbers are disposable, followed up with Osha saying, well, I could hear you, and I'm a little offended because I'm not disposable, but the guy I'm working with is. So, or maybe she said it the other way around now that I just skimmed through the subtitles. But
No, you got it. You got it right.
And we get some non-science. We get some reflection in fire in outer space, because you know, oxygen.
It could be leaking.
Yeah,
If it's burning its own leak, it could be making fire out there.
yeah, I guess so. I guess that makes sense.
If it has an oxidizer,
But
I don't think the shape is right though.
nerds.
I don't think the shape is right. Just saying.
But she does. So she sees the fire and she freezes up a little bit. And if you have subtitles on, it's really easy to hear what the shouting and stuff is in her memory. And it's, you know, well, let's see. Might be better just to go ahead and let's see. We get, of course, it's going to go slow for me. May, what are you doing? I won't let you leave. And no mama. So it's like she's recalling the moment her mother and her sister apparently perished. So, and then we get to see the droid being used as a fire extinguisher because it's got gas canisters in there somehow.
He does all things. I like him.
He's like the Like if you thought those little multi-tools they got on, nowadays with the pliers, this thing's got that feed hands down.
The Swiss droid knife.
You're right. The Swiss droid knife, exactly. And while that's all going on, the Jedi show up, and the Trade Federation is not too happy about it. And the guy outside with May
This is an homage to Phantom Menace, by the way.
asks, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. Oh, are these friends of yours? And we get our first glimpse of Jedis from Coruscant, not one that's stationed somewhere else, but the fancy white and gold robes of the
they're intentionally super preppy.
Yeah,
These are super preppy Jedis.
yeah. It's and what's this guy's name again?
George Fandar.
I mean,
Sounds like an insult.
it does. It really
Everything-
does.
It's good because almost everything he says ends up coming out like an insult.
Yeah, I mean, like,
He's very condescending.
I mean,
They point out, like someone said that, like they pointed out next to the dude from Andor. I forgot his name. It's like everybody has a coworker like one of these guys. It's like
Absolutely.
People are hating on like, oh, they're so nerdy. These are lame, preppy
Like-
Jedis. It's like that's the point. That's why they are in 100 years. They are gone.
It's like I hate this
120
guy.
years.
I hate this guy instantly.
yeah,
They succeeded in like doing it properly. Not instantly. It was like, how's this gonna go? Like, yeah,
After like 3 or 4 lines of dialogue.
yeah. Basically, the first, second, third, I think was like weird. Yeah. When he tries to, I remember when he tries to like Jedi mind trick the information out of him instead of just asking people.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Like,
There's
well,
a hubris.
Can you
There's a
imagine he's
hubris.
just doing that all the time too? Like, just like I'm just gonna go jiggle your brain.
Yeah, they're
seems like
cocky. They're very
it's a
cocky at
violation.
this age.
Yeah.
They are, but
Arrogant and cocky.
the whole, like, I don't know. I feel like the using the Jedi mind trick thing here was okay because clearly these Nemoidians were not going to cooperate.
But they
Like,
did.
if you-
But
Yeah,
it was to make a
'cause
point.
he
It was
did-
to make a
he
point.
did
Like, that's
his-
the first thing
He said to threaten it, and someone like complied.
Uh-huh. It probably works for him a lot. And that's
Yeah.
the point. Is that
Well-
he's kind of an arrogant bastard.
Well, he's got ale.
Was
And
that
his
still a
Padawan's
thing?
his Padawan's a know-it-all, bookworm.
Right. Yeah, that That
did you
kinda-
even say they when he says
This is
thank
all
you for your
intentional.
cooperation. When he says thank you for your cooperation, the subtitle had it in quotations, so they captured that.
Mhm.
It's good writing. It's actually good writing.
it is.
Harvey
It is.
Weinstein. Just kidding. Just kidding, guys. We're gonna get canceled now.
Oh,
There is an epic amount of hate for this show on YouTube right now. That's another thing Kate probably doesn't know about. Jar Jar.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Why?
Is it?
You know why?
It's.
I don't even.
it-
I don't want to go.
I'm gonna
there.
go ahead and say it. People are because I'm not saying it. I'm just saying what other people are saying.
Ugh.
People are saying that it's woke, and it's
People are
full
prejudiced, and
Of,
there's
it's full of DEI
mhm.
and
there's women in it. It's made by a woman. There's brown people.
I mean,
yeah,
that's what I can't stand the show. The brown people. It's just
That's ridiculous.
It's
Well, then you
unacceptable.
have to watch it.
No, they don't.
It's the first one I've ever
that's
watched, so there's
that's the
that.
thing. They're not even. These are their entire channels. They're not even fans of Star Wars anymore. But that's all
Well,
they talk
that's-
about is
That's what they
hating
claim.
on Star Wars. There is an entire industry, cottage industry of hating on Star Wars now.
Yeah.
Like if Lobo were to switch to just like, even if he didn't believe it, just talk,
Right.
about Star Wars, he would have 1,000 viewers right now.
Oh, okay.
It's
all
very
you
easy.
all you have to do is like stoke the
Uh-huh.
hatred and like
Right.
It's the easiest way to
like,
get clicks and views right now. And then you put
This is-
a thumbnail that says, is Acolyte woke or
Right.
Star Wars dead? Acolyte
like-
the end, and then
Yeah,
him
I think-
shock face.
Yeah.
I think one of my
That's
videos that have done the best was the our after Indiana Jones 5. We made that short little video that's called Does It Suck?
because it's got a negative tone.
Uh-huh.
People are
Yeah,
expecting me to
you
say,
put-
yeah, it
you-
did,
you
but
put
no.
suck in your
People
thumbnail.
just want something to like rail into. So
Well, it's so much
Well-
easier than actually watching the show.
But it's
Right.
and it's a
It's
lot
not
more
the
fun to
thing
make
that-
fun of actual things like, look how this fool is posed on her bunk.
Yeah,
He's got,
well, he fixes his like.
He's got
tape,
his-
too.
he's
He has
like,
to
I
fix his
can't crease
tape.
I can't have a butt mark on my cape here.
He
no
like fans it out and then he like
Yeah.
straightens out the front of his robe. Like, oh yes,
And
they
his
literally
haircut's
know each
terrible.
other. They knew each other
What
when
do
they were like in the
Right.
Jedi Academy.
I know,
Yeah.
but he wants her to see that he's a Jedi now. He's big time.
Yeah,
big
well
shot.
I mean,
So a little bit of hubris again.
Yeah.
This informs his character.
it does.
At this
It really does.
He's pretentious.
yeah, from the second you
Well-
see him.
Because he's representing the entire
Yeah,
Jedi
I
at
know.
this point. The Jedi.
Actually-
entire
actually,
order.
I actually have to show that whole little clip here. Hold on. Here we go. Just the way he stands up. Watch this.
Mhm.
Oh, I was
Like he pulls the cloak down behind him off of the bed. Like, come on.
That's too much.
It's just, I mean, even Osha's laughing at him. Look at her, look at that grin she's got. She's like, what a dumbass.
Apparently he is a dumbass because her next line to him is like, "Oh, you finally passed the test."
True. Yeah. That's yeah.
Hi,
and
Tom.
he's got his own Padawan. Like he
Hey,
made
take a
Night
picture.
2 years
Take a picture of
ago.
me and him. Me, you,
So.
and me. Me looking good and you looking like you.
Oh. So we get the weirdest interrogation I've ever kind of seen. Like
Oh yeah,
like
you came to pay your old friend a visit, and he immediately grabs his lightsaber.
yeah. When she reached for Pip.
That's
And
true.
it does have kind of a gun kind of handle.
I'm pretty sure there's probably gun like a setting that can be used as a gun. Her
Well,
welder
she
Probably.
Yeah. she's
Definitely
got-
has the taser, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a gun.
Yeah, just pull. What did he like? She like pulled off his head and was
Yeah,
able to
she
create all this
totally
spark.
ripped it. I was like, did she just pull his head off?
turns out his neck is connected by like a spike.
Yes, I realized that after the fact. I was like, oh, I liked him.
So, so these two Jedi come in and like tell her this is your sob story from before, which is kind of, I don't know, excessive. Like I don't know. It's the strangest preamble to arresting someone I've ever seen. Like,
I don't remember this part for some reason.
well, they're just like they
They're reminiscing about the old days.
like
I'm a big shot now. Blah blah blah.
he's like telling her, oh, because you went through this trauma and you were 8 years old, like it does set the stage for why like accepting Anakin later on in the timeline into the Order would be an issue, but even then, it just, I don't know, this was probably my least favorite moment of this episode, was this interaction between
I think you're overthinking it.
Really?
I think it's the same.
I mean,
thing
I got through this scene and it didn't bug me.
I
think it's an interrogator using interrogation techniques against someone. It's like, let's make you uncomfortably and emotionally vulnerable. Now let's begin the questions. Like, it was testing. It was probing.
Yeah, I guess so.
You guys probably saw all of these. I just happened to look up some of the feedback or whatever on the show. And this one episode basically says the Acolyte to reportedly lose everyone after the third episode, that the first two episodes were good and will come across as inoffensive to longtime Star Wars fans. The third episode will lose everyone thanks to some truly abysmal creative decisions, and goes on to talk about how there's no male energy. And of course, the episode was written by a man. So I guess there's no room for lots of women in the Star Wars world.
I don't like that the screeners are out there. I don't like that people watched it ahead of time. This is weird. They keep doing this for every season.
I had bad feelings about remember the entire
just all enjoy it
was out for review.
Yeah, it should just be something to have fun. But people always have to have something to be mad about. It's ridiculous.
Well,
the only thing they should be mad about is Jar Jar Binks. That I can't argue with.
Oh, hey.
And that they haven't reintroduced him yet.
Right.
How's it going, Travis?
The injustice is that we haven't seen Sith Jar Jar.
Right.
And
it's funny. What is that Adult Swim with that French fry guy character on that show?
That would be Frylock.
Yeah, Frylock. Yes, I see that totally, Travis. Yes, Frylock, 100%. I just kept looking at his hair.
Yeah,
and
it was kind of hard not to notice.
It's just
Well, it's all forward. It's like that.
It was a little too obvious. I don't know how you would fix that.
He's just that guy. He's a Metro Jedi.
Metro Jedi. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. You might have just coined a phrase. You should start a Twitter or something.
You got your screen name for next week.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody's already still that could be a whole thing.
What a horrible looking city.
Yeah,
the whole planet looks like that.
Too. Yeah, you were saying that.
I
just remember
the Jedi Temple.
The last show you guys did that I was not a part of had that lovely, beautiful island.
That's the nice part of the planet.
Yeah. This is like I don't want to get canceled. I'm just going to retract what I was going to say.
What do they call it? A gigaopolis or something? There was a word for this planet.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, because the whole
lower levels are like of the Jedi Temple.
Yeah. The surface goes hundreds of levels down because they just kept building on top of the previous cities.
Oh, okay.
So there's like giant monsters and like it's pretty freaky actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks freaky.
Giant rats.
Nobody goes down. So it has a certain point.
If you go on certain levels, they're just like where all the bounty hunters and scum live, murderers and killers and
good times.
Good times. But I noticed there's actually some greenery in this shot.
What?
There's some trees.
Where?
Along the on the bottom here, there's like three roads, and there's like the center road's got trees.
Well, I mean, their temple is right there. They would want to park at least.
I see.
That's where all the students go to
eat their lunch. I was just about to comment, like there's not one living thing on that surface. But you corrected me.
There's like one mountain on the whole planet apparently, and then there's trees near that.
There's like a little
mountain top.
Peak,
like
the mountain peak.
Yeah.
What was that in? That was in.
They built like a hole of like the deck around, and then there's this like this little tiny like.
Was that Mando season 3 that showed that?
Yes.
when they go for ice cream.
Yeah.
yeah,
The re-education camp.
it's a park.
Yeah,
It's the
Yeah.
doctor. It's the doctor episode when they're trying to re-educate him, and then he
Right.
gets corrupted. Never mind.
yeah, different show,
Spoilers for
Same
another
unit.
show.
right?
You didn't know you're gonna get spoilers for.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So Coruscant, nice big city. A lot less traffic, and then we get some younglings, and all of them seem very peaceful, except for the one little girl who says, "I see fire." Now, when the trailers came out, I thought that was supposed to be a young version of Amanda's character, not some other Jedi kid.
Well, and
But
that
these-
youngling is the one who's actually seeing what's really going to happen. That's
Right?
That's kind of funny.
So here's Lee Jung Jae being the
Yeah, he looked so familiar, and I forgot where I knew him from. So Squid Games for sure.
and we
Oh yeah, who
and
is this?
Vernestra. This is Vernestra Rowe. Apparently, in the comic books and the books, she has long flowing purple hair, but here we get bald with dots. She's
The
the
books
same.
take place at the same time.
No, the books are before this.
Oh, okay.
Way
Well,
before this. In
got
the
it.
books, in the High Republic books, this character is a teenager who like leaves the order to be or like some wayfinder or something, and then comes back to the order. But I don't know. I didn't read any of that. That's all secondhand knowledge that I gained from other Star Wars YouTubers, mostly Meg and Santa.
I just want to point out there's one out of all the younglings there, they're meditating. There's one that can't close his eyes because he has like bubble eyes.
Really?
I don't
Let's
think I
see.
saw that.
They might cut away to him in that.
Yeah.
It was noticed in the trailer, and people were making fun of it and just
Yeah.
close your eyes and meditate.
Ignoring
There's
them.
one alien kid that can't close his eyes because his eyes are balls.
It's when they like the icy fire kid says the icy fire in the foreground is the one with the big black bubble eyes.
Anyways, moving on.
It's yeah.
Did my
The
internet
actress
freeze?
that plays her was also in Russian Doll, Rebecca Henderson.
Okay, maybe that's where. Is she in the first season, Russian Doll?
I think so.
She looked sort of familiar. I don't know where I've seen her in. But... There you go on the
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
side.
You think they would have gave that guy some eyelids?
He's a disadvantage. He's at a disadvantage.
Unless he's got like
Eyelids
Like-
underneath it. Maybe
or
those
like
are
a
closed.
like a
Maybe.
like a camera lens eye, like
Iris.
like a shutter.
Or maybe it's like a reptile with a secondary lid, where the lid's already gone down.
Right. So we get Vernestra. God, just I don't know. From the back, she looks like a couple bald dudes that I know. And so she's the same species as Barasafi. And
Mary Ellen?
yeah, a Mary Ellen.
Yeah, Mary Ellen.
Not to be confused with a Mary Sue.
Mm-hmm.
Even though pretty close.
Well, she brought a lot of actors from shows previously that you had mentioned earlier. The actor that plays Yord is also in Russian Doll.
Oh. Okay. A lot of directors
Yeah,
like to use the people they're familiar with.
totally.
They know how to get what they want from them, especially for someone who used to work with. Never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get Indara lets why can't I remember his name already? What's his name?
Saul.
Master Saul, yeah.
Yeah.
Informs him that the prime suspect for Indara's murder is his former Padawan. Which he's not too happy about it, doesn't believe it. And we get to cut to the prison transport ship for a fairly humorous scene, but we do get to see some weird, like, what is that? Like that leaf-looking creature.
Oh, they do name it.
They do.
Yeah,
they
do name it.
But it's, let's see, it's in the next little
Lilac
scene.
or something. Bias.
It's just,
and we've
the
seen something
good-
like this in Rogue One. You know,
Yeah.
a mind altering alien attached to your body or tentacles or whatever.
They also tell her it's fine. He's having the time of his life.
yeah.
It does seem like he is like enjoying it.
Because as soon as he takes it off, that guy's a maniac. So it is kind of soothing,
It's called, come on.
like a pacifier.
I'm looking for you.
Here it is. It's called a
Divek.
Yeah.
Divek?
I don't know. He says it, but it's, I don't want to put the audio in. Divik.
Divek.
It's a
And she's like,
parasite,
"What?"
a parasitic species used by the Galactic Republic to subdue violent criminals in the High Republic area.
Yeah. But yeah, when she asks, where is it? Yeah, there we go. That's the line I want.
No,
Is it hurting him? It does weird stuff to your
brain. Yeah, King Shark there.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
he very much, he is very much King Shark from Suicide Squad. But he's like King Shark combined with an octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's got those weird. Now, so I'm just gonna let this play for a second. This guy is
my favorite character.
Droids, and I thought this was kind of a genius little idea that the autopilot droids just turn into chairs.
Mm-hmm.
They had a budget. The Jedi.
I want that for an
had a
RV.
good budget. They had the best equipment and the best ships, so it makes sense. The guy with the robot head, like half, that's the best. That body horror is pretty awesome for Star Wars. Like you see something like that in Solo. Remember the red sun, whatever, the leader in Solo.
Yeah,
he had slaves that were like half their heads were chopped off, and it was like a flat robot, kind of like that.
It's
And,
also
it's just something cool. It's like actually leaning into sci-fi as far as the creature design. So
right,
somebody went the extra mile.
It's like the Lando's assistant in Empire Strikes Back, Lobot.
Lobot, same idea.
And there was another character in Star Wars Rebels that had that, the Lobot like earphones thing going on.
I remember that.
But he was a Rhodian.
So yeah, there was some cyberpunk in Star Wars. That's kind of cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. That this is off. This tentacle is off that King Shark looking dude's head.
Yes,
and that's just what.
It is kind of incompetent of the Jedi to have a ship that could be hacked by like that dude and a tentacle reaching through the bars. That was I was like, what? These guys are not good at their jobs.
Nope.
No.
As far as transporting prisoners.
Not at all. And
and then you're just like, sorry,
capturing them.
I could have done it myself.
Is that Chris Helmsworth in the back down there?
And then also this Jedi robot who looks so badass, like you could take a beating, just gets his head ripped off.
Yeah,
So,
just
but
little
I
squeeze-
understand if this doesn't happen, the show doesn't happen. So, I'll forgive it.
little squeeze and pop there,
It's entertaining. It,
right?
it has to be entertaining. If it's entertaining, then it gets a pass.
Yeah, and then they use the hand of that destroyed robot to hack open the door.
Kept slapping
And this
it
is
on
also
the doors.
after they ask Osha if she wants to escape with them, and she's like, no, and they're like, okay. But they break out the other guy, and there's kind of a cheesy joke where, I mean, he's got the robot's hand, and she's like, can you give me a hand? And he uses the hand to wave at her and say, bye bye, Jedi killer.
I caught that. That was great.
And just throws it down out of her reach. You know.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, from those prisoners' point of view, they're like, maybe we're better off without this Jedi killer. Too much heat, right?
yeah,
It
probably.
was like,
But we also get this. Oops, I didn't do it at the right
to
time.
the Jedi's credit, they capture all these guys almost immediately. They
Right.
recapture them. So that's more of a path.
But I liked this right here. That launch, they used the same sound effects as the
live pods.
Yeah, the escape pods that
Escape
the
pods.
escape pod that 3PO and R2 used in the original movie.
They're all made in the same factory. There's like a factory in Star Wars that builds escape pods and.
Yep.
So was
They're
it
all good
Cyborg
songs.
and Ugnaught though?
No, he's way too tall to be a Ugnaught, and he didn't have a big enough nose.
He didn't have a nose anymore.
He had a little bit of a nose. Let's see here.
Because I think it's more horrifying if it's an Ugnaught. Since they're crafty.
I don't know what that is.
They are pretty crafty. But yeah, he's got a little bit of a nose.
Okay.
It is kind of a little upturned like Queel, but it's not
Oh, there's my boy.
it's not too
That is one ugly son of a bitch.
I think that's an Ugnaught.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, but so tall for an Ugnaught, or they don't show his height in this angle, so I can't tell.
It's not his real body.
It's an
got a
Ugnaught head on
cybernetic
like on a cyber body, made himself taller.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
I mean, why make one the same size?
Makes perfect sense, actually.
right. And would Ugnaught wouldn't want to be taller.
Right?
And have a Bluetooth that can hack ships.
Right?
It's just funny that they choose Ben to escape. I guess you got to be smart about it.
But like here,
you don't
look,
want to.
I'm just
When
gonna
the
let
Jedi
this
are around, you don't want to escape.
I'm just gonna let this run for size reference. So these are all average height
One short one.
humanoids. So over here, letting this dude out, and they look
Oh yeah, he's
like-
pretty short. Well, he's
they
average.
looked fairly.
Bye bye, Jedi killer.
Yeah. And I thought this was kind of funny. Oops, I did it again. The ship.
Okay, Brittany.
Yeah.
That's what I thought he was making a reference to.
Just the way the ship kind of is
I was
falling.
like, what?
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. So we get so saw a lot of people like kind of complaining about this because we know that Osha is a former Jedi, but yet she can't quite use the Force to grab the little control.
They kind of tease it, but I'm glad it was a nice, not to be predictable, right?
Right. But there's also
'Cause you don't know.
like there's the whole like disconnecting yourself from the Force and having to learn it again.
I was gonna say, what happens to people who wash out of the Jedi Academy? They're just like, okay, you get to go on with your newfound Force powers to like wreak havoc in your life, or do they disconnect you?
I think it's more of a if you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's like a forceful disconnection, like because that would be like if that was a thing, there'd be more people.
It is unusual for them to leave somebody with potential power like that just to walk the streets. There is precedent for it. Ahsoka was allowed to leave the order. She just left the order. They weren't able to stop her anyway.
Nope. They weren't in a position to at that point.
Exactly. But yeah.
But
But it is
Luke-
dangerous to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good point, Travis. Good point. Worst prison ship ever. Let's arrest people designed to escape prisons.
Let's take no
Yeah.
precautions.
Where's Sly Stallone at?
Let's take no precautions against the guy who's like their own version of a Lobot.
Again, it's driving home the idea of the arrogance of the Jedi. You know, they're cocky and like they're like, "What? Go ahead and escape. We're just gonna find you again, test us, try us."
Right. Oh man. So she gets herself all strapped in, crash lands on this planet that we've been to in I think Star Wars Rebels. I forget the name of it already. But so this episode we actually get to see 3 separate planets, which is kind of a record for one episode of a Star Wars show, right?
Karlak.
Karlak, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go there either. Too cold.
But you could build a snowman there.
That's okay.
Do you want to build a snowman?
No.
So we get this guy's got a hologram of May when she was a Jedi, and in walks. Oh man, why am I should have wrote these names down.
Jackie,
yes. And this is oh man, why can't I remember her name either? I gotta write this stuff down. I gotta take better notes.
Well, I was
Yeah.
also sitting in front of my computer. No, I'm not, so I couldn't help you.
The actress's name, because she was in the Logan movie. Played
it's
Is that Abigail Thorne?
no.
I can't remember her name.
Oh, Daphne King.
Daphne King.
Yeah. And I guess she's like in reality, she's like 19, but she looks like a 12-year-old in this.
She is
Yeah.
19.
But yeah, she played Wolverine's cloned daughter.
Yep.
So
She's also the star of His Dark Materials series. The adaptation.
but she's definitely like the most inquisitive character. And here we go. Questioning
Sorry.
the what's going on. Just realized Dan's on his profile icon.
I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Didn't know if you were
Just taking
losing
a
power
break.
or something.
No. But we should move along.
A little faster. Yeah.
I don't have,
Not have too much.
battery.
Too much.
Sorry, I'm
example.
probably slowing you guys down. I'm trying to stay quiet as much as
No.
possible to not.
This is normal for us.
I mean, I know I watch. I just feel like I just add to the problem now.
Oops, shouldn't be sharing that much. So yeah, so they're off to go to the basement, and they find that those guys were already captured, like he said, and Master Soul mind tricks this guy to just tell her what to do, and he's like, I betrayed her. She helped me. I took the last escape pod, and Soul's all right. She's on this. She's alive. She's on the planet. Vernestra is like just being ultra pessimistic. Very, very much not willing to play ball. She seems like a very big stickler for the rules, but from what I understand in the books, she's more less rigid. So I don't know.
A little more living force rather than institution of Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's worried about the whole a Jedi having killed a former member killing somebody and how that's going to look politically. And it's a little ridiculous. But, politics likes to screw everything up. And, even in fantasy, science fantasy, or whatever you want to call it. We get Osha waking back up. At least she thinks she's waking back up, and starts to have a force vision of a child, and starts following the child out into the snow. But they don't really stay on that too long, because they cut back to the Jedi temple, and their souls tasked with putting together a small team, and it's like, we need backup, and Jeki's like, is it Yord? And I can't tell if that's like, I'm going to be annoyed if it's Yord. She sounds a little annoyed if it's going to be him.
Yeah, she's not happy.
But
we're sending the
'Cause
boys
he's
out
like-
who just caused this whole thing to happen again, basically.
like,
We had her in our custody and you blew it.
Right, she's the know-it-all, and she knows that he's just like,
Yeah.
what's wrong?
She's doing a lot of second guessing.
Yep.
What's wrong?
That's her. That's her
nothing.
character.
He's
She's a know-it-all.
She's less abrasive than that Padawan that Yord had, and then we get I fucking missed it.
In his underwear.
Again,
Yord, a space iron.
He's pressing
Space
his
iron.
cloak.
Or is it steam? Is it a
I
steamer?
mean,
We've never seen anything like this in Star Wars ever before.
It's groundbreaking. He's
like the most.
Because, okay, George Lucas said there's no glasses in Star Wars, like eyeglasses,
right,
except there is in Wilford Brimley.
Not only Wilford
that's not
Brimley, not only the oh god, what's his name? The clone doctor in the Mandalorian.
He had glasses.
Pershing.
That's
Pershing,
right.
That's
right.
his name.
Yeah,
He had
Pershing.
glasses.
And there's no laundry. There's no underwear in space too.
There's no underwear in space.
Right.
That was just because he wanted to see Carrie
everything's like
Fisher in that
super
white
space
dress
material.
all soaking wet.
But I guess Jedis, they have the old fashioned like natural fibers because they're hippies, right?
But yeah, there's a bunch of hippies. So we cut back to the May following the little girl, and the little girl turns around, and May is looking at either herself as a child or her sister,
depending on how you look at it.
At first, I thought she was looking at herself.
Right.
That was my first impression, anyways.
And then they get to the hello, sister, which is weird because she's like having this vision. She's not having, like, I don't think she's not communicating with oh wait, we see a fourth planet. I forgot, because they do this flashback takes them to Braddock. There we go. And the fire. But and they do this weird little poem that ends with this line. which is, I don't know, people are saying this is a dyad, which is an idea that was first presented in the sequel trilogy. And a lot of people, including myself, I'm not a big fan of the lore introduced in that, especially Force lore. Wait, a slore? An ancient slore. That's a different franchise. And we get this to kill Indara. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this play. And
Now
then her
this is
eyes
de-aged
turn
or a
black.
different actress.
It's different actress. There was some pictures from the premiere event that they did that a few YouTubers got to go to. And there was like a group photo, and Mandla Stenberg was like flanked by the two younger women that play her as kids. So yeah. And she wakes up and she's actually back on the ship, like she didn't go anywhere. So that was all in her head.
Dan, are you okay over there? You're getting lobotomized by Indara's.
Oh yeah,
I know.
So right after that scene, we get the Master Soul gives the story to the rest of the Jedis that are on his little team about what happened. Well, partial story about what happened on Braddock, and informs them that Osha has a twin sister, and Yord seems extra like I would have liked to known that. Like that might be extra relevant. Like the look on his face there was very, hey, maybe I'm not a like you guys sent me out there like a dumbass
with incomplete information. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you sent me to arrest the wrong person.
Right?
But they make it like it's him.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they assume that, like everybody else, that her sister was dead, so it couldn't possibly be the sister.
Right.
Well,
but she should have been mentioned, like in her dossier. That's like
there's a reason they don't know, though.
Yeah, it's been hidden. It's been hidden.
So this thing is cool. This extra unit that ship just
that looks like Stargate
of,
SG-1.
Well, to me, it reminded me of a Jedi Starfighter hyperspace ring.
Yep, that's what I was thinking too.
Well, nested ships.
Yeah,
ships
and they did it already in Ahsoka. Like, so we might see more.
Right. So they find the crashed ship. They start searching around. There's no way to someone survived it. Yord thinks scavengers have been there because he's pretentious. But Master Soul's like, no, I picked up her vibe, and they started following her. And this whole rest of this screamed The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. All the way up to they call out to her. She's like, I didn't kill my wife. I mean, I didn't kill Master Indara. And like she makes her stand on the cliff, and of course Master Soul saves her before she jumps off like Harrison Ford did in The Fugitive. I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
Yeah. There's a couple. I think New Rockstars actually made a little clip of they spliced that in there. It's kind of funny. And we get another planet. All right, maybe there was 5 planets in this. Wow, that's many. That's got to be the record. The whole whoever the master is for May is giving her the rundown, and they don't give him a name. They don't really show him more than this. Well, all right, it's too late. And then boom. That's it for the first episode.
Yeah, are these 30-minute episodes?
I think they were 40 something.
This
It was
one was
Episode 2 was
37.
37.
37
the episode.
even.
Okay, so that ended at 30. The last shot is at 37 on the dot.
Oh, so episode
And then
2 is
there's-
also 37.
And then there's like 5 minutes of credits. 5.5 minutes of credits.
The second one's actually shorter, I think.
yeah,
Next
the second
episode
one's
is
shorter.
shorter.
because it starts out with a previously on segment,
Mhm.
and then
No ending.
and then cut to then they cut to this. This is the beginning of the second episode. Already a minute
Another location.
a minute 13 in before any storytelling begins. I don't know what the heck that creature is. It looks uncomfortable as hell for a costume. But we do get a little kid throwing rocks or fruit or something. She steals something out of that creature's bin and starts throwing stuff at the little whatever this droid is over here. It's kind of like the thing that comes out of Jabba's palace, but it's got 2 eyes instead of 1. And it's like the greeter. She gives just enough distraction to it for May to hack it or whatever to get the door open, and heads on inside, unarmed again, tries to do the same fight me spiel to this guy who's meditating. And I don't know, like the way that this guy's presented, he kind of looks like the knight in the Last Crusade, who's all super pale because he's been in a cave for a couple
10
hundred years.
This one's 10. This one's
but like I thought it was kind of funny, like the way that this is rigged up. He's supposed to be floating with his
Mhm.
legs crossed. I mean, that's his feet, but it looks like to me he's just standing there with
they did make him move though.
some fake legs in front of him that he's holding.
He moves
Like
though. He does like float a little bit.
You know, this is straight
little
out of a
bit.
kung fu movie.
It is.
Floating master.
His chi is so strong that he's
Uh-huh.
stopping incoming attacks even in this state.
Yeah.
Yes, without doing anything. That's great.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's
Everything about this character is great though. Like from beginning to end.
Yeah. I don't know. The beard looks kind of fake. I mean,
It does look fake, but I'll get to it later. You know what it
It's-
is? It's because it's going to be flashback to like 10 years before, and he's going to look like what he normally looks like.
right.
Also,
Right.
probably without the scar.
Is this guy in Russian Doll too?
I was just looking. His name is Dean Charles Chapman. He was not in Russian Doll.
So Yord was
Yord and
in it.
yeah,
Okay, so that's it so far.
so far that's it. Yeah. And this character, his name is Torben, Master
Yeah.
Torben.
Mm-hmm.
I love how he has like zero security around him. She
Well,
gets
yeah,
him
I mean,
twice.
He doesn't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Good point, but still, like
And
they
then
don't
there-
have like webcams in their
There's
temple.
this guy. This guy thought something was up though. He came in all suspicious.
Yeah, they sense
He's-
something, but still,
Is this guy Benedict Cumberbatch's stunt double or what?
she came in and like was like punching him for 10 minutes, trying to punch through that force field.
Right. But it is kind of good that she did that, because this
Of
guy,
course, her expertise is like stealth. I'm sure that's one of the things that she's being tested on.
Mhm.
right.
Like, if you're like can even get that close to threaten the life of a Jedi, then maybe you can be an acolyte or an acolyte.
Right. So we get Osha waking up without being in binders this time, even though she's captured. She does give Jackie some tips on how to get her system to work better, and it comes online. And Jackie's like, "Are you a pilot?" She's like, "No, I'm a mechanic." And that's where the flexibility line that you mentioned earlier comes in.
Mhm.
And Yord is continuing to question the twin theory. But Soul communicates with Vernestra Rowe and says it's got to be the twin. And Vernestra's like, "Yeah, I've got to agree. A suspect matching Osha's description was spotted, and they go to investigate it on Olega, yet another planet. Lots of new planets, which is great. But all these planets tend to look pretty similar as far as marketplaces and structures. I wouldn't be able to
It's the same backlot.
say that this wasn't, a different planet. And we get introduced to Khmer, who apparently is a drunk. No, I
Yep.
skipped it.
Played by Manny Jacinto, who was in The Good Place.
Yes,
And
so
he's
I
fantastic in it.
absolutely love him.
As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, "Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey."
What's his name? Jason? I can't.
Bortles.
Yeah. Jason Mendoza. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
I feel like he had a second name on that show.
And someone like said, every time I had a problem, I just threw a thermal detonator. Then boom, I had a new problem.
You would like him in The Good Place, Eric.
Yeah.
Lobo.
He is a Jacksonville native.
Yes, and very, very proud of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing of that show. I've heard of it. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty great. Ted Danson. It's good. You might actually like it.
I don't like anything.
Yeah, I know, but
It predicates that all religion is wrong. And
yes.
that everybody goes to hell.
So here's a little line that he gives after she tells him that she wasn't able to take out that Jedi. If you think a sleeping monk is tough, good luck defeating a Wookiee. Because that's coming.
Yeah.
That's coming. So he gives all kinds of insight, I guess, for someone who's like a poison vendor, a weapons dealer. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to be. But she gives him this plant that's a poison from her home planet
Mm-hmm.
in order to kill Torben with.
Bunta.
I was like, wait, like Bunta Eve? But no, it's something else. And he makes this glowing green liquid that looks like something out of Fallout 4, or maybe just Fallout in general.
Nickelodeon.
It's some slime. It's condensed slime. As soon as someone says, "I don't know," they fucking drop it on them.
Mm-hmm.
and we get OSHA trying to hack the system into Pip, and Soul questions her on what's that. She thinks he's talking about the droid, but he's talking about her tattoo. And CorpSec, and that's the corporate sector.
She was trying to connect to the Wi-Fi, basically.
Right? She's like, I can't get my I can't I can't get my Spotify to play.
That's a big deal. Like, I'll cancel everything. I won't cancel my music subscription.
Right. I had to cancel a bunch of subscriptions recently.
Disney
so
Plus?
that is no. Silly stuff, YouTubers that I was members of their channels and stuff. But they start talking about the Brendock, what happened on Brendock, the home planet for May and OSHA, and OSHA's like, you're not responsible for that, and it's in the past, everything's fine now. But Soul definitely is not being very forward. There's definitely something else that he's holding back. And she's like, I left the order because I wasn't a good student. He's like, well, maybe I wasn't a good teacher. So
probably because he's involved in the thing that killed their family.
Yeah.
It's hard to maintain focus when you're thinking about, like, oh, remember that time I was responsible for your whole family dying?
Exactly. It's kind of weird. I think I thought I'm going to bring it up now. I should have brought it up before. I thought it was kind of strange that Soul brought his Padawan and another knight, but not that other knight's Padawan. Like, where's that girl that came with him to arrest
Cassie, whatever.
Ocean? Yeah. So that was kind of strange.
Cassie Loa. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually got the name, first name right.
So while Soul and the others are outside, May is actually in the chamber with the guy again with her vial of poison. But they got these two jokers. We found this ruffian. Oh. And she...
Yes, Jedi beat up kids.
They kidnap him technically. They get the girl that was messing with the door droid to admit that why did you do it? And she's like, she paid me to do it. And, well, who paid you? And she points at OSHA, which means it was May.
Mm-hmm.
So they hurry up and get inside, but OSHA breaks off from the group. And what's that guy's name again?
Torben.
No, the Jock Jedi.
Yord.
Yord follows her off. Follows
Jock Jedi.
Ocean off to the side. He reminds me of Flash Thompson from Spider-Man.
Did we already
I found something that he talks about the character, but we'll talk about that later. If we have time at the end, I'll tell you what he says.
Okay. What were you going to say?
Did we pass the part where they chase her into the ice tunnels?
Yeah.
That part reminds me of The Fugitive.
Oh yeah, I was saying that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You killed my wife.
Yes,
I didn't kill my wife. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
Sorry.
But
I do love that May is making the pitch at this, like, oh, you're guilty. You know why you're doing this. And like, how bad is it? How bad is it that, like, she can convince someone who's been, like, peacefully meditating for the last decade, like,
16 years.
Oh, you killed my parents. You know
thought it
you
was
killed
10
my
years.
sister.
Yeah, I read 10 years, but maybe I read something wrong.
I thought it
Either way.
was.
Either
I
way,
thought it was 16
Yeah.
year. Oh, maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
Maybe
16
he was
years ago is when Soul was stationed on that planet.
Yeah,
10
and they
years
said
ago
that
is when
he-
all the shit went down.
it's been over
Okay.
10 years since he took the brash vow.
Yeah.
I have a feeling his meditation was associated with his guilt, though. That's why he was like, he came out.
Yeah,
of that,
like he was just
it's time
living
for me
in-
to die.
Instead of like getting over it, he was living in the guilt.
Yeah.
And
It's like
what we've done, I can't get over.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, how bad is the incident that leads to like?
I mean, she
Maybe
convinced him pretty quickly. It didn't take much.
Mhm. No, it did not take a lot of convincing.
He's like,
Uh-uh.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
So
drank it
finally-
himself. He didn't
He was
even.
like- It seemed like I've been waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he was meditating, just to be out of it, and now he has a way out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was escapism.
Yeah.
But that's what death sticks are for.
He literally says, "I've been waiting for you."
Yeah. So of course they come in the room, and OSHA's over the body, and they're like, maybe start explaining.
And in comes Yord.
And then Yord actually,
With like covers her,
he's
like
yeah,
I was watching
he's
the
like,
whole
no,
time."
I watched her the whole time. She's good. And
Yeah. And then she escapes just as easily.
yeah, again,
That's the part about the security there. Like, I'm like, come on. She's like in and out. Like, the 7-Eleven has more security than.
well, 7-Eleven at least
Temple.
has a chime on the door. You know,
So you look at the
And they also-
yeah.
They also have that ruler near the door so you can see how tall the assailants are. You notice that?
Need to put a
That's
bell
true.
around her neck.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
But, again, they're hippies, so they're not having.
well, yeah, they should be into like putting jingle bells on people.
Right, I was just gonna say that would fit perfectly.
Freaking here, carry this tambourine around with you.
Yeah.
So they come up with this idea to find where the poison came from, and they figure out the local alchemist is not the normal guy, and Yord wants to
Just grab
go
him.
get
Just
him,
stun him.
and Jackie comes up with the idea of send the twin in and see if we get the guy to confess to anything, which works out pretty good. I'm speeding this up because I know you're losing battery power over there, Dan. You're getting darker and darker.
Uh-huh. That's racist, dude. Canceled.
No, that's lighting. So we get the most awkward hello and highs in the entire Star Wars series ever.
Can you flip back to
even
so I
I
can see where
I
we are?
caught on that.
Yeah, sure. So here we got here's the
Oh
this
yeah.
is OSHA pretending to be May.
Not a
says
good
hello.
actress.
He's like, oh, hello.
Hello, fellow.
And then
Bad
she
doer.
says, hi.
How
Hi.
you doing?
Like, what's the next one?
Again,
Come here
hi.
often?
Boring conversation, anyways.
Uh-huh.
Right?
How are
Star Wars
you?
is known for awkward dialogue, so this fits.
And she's not answering, but this guy's, he
He's
kind of
like
figures it
spilling
out.
beans.
He figures out right at the end. You look exactly like her. It's like, yeah, it's the same actress, dumbass. No. And this, yeah, we get Torben's rocking that yellow lightsaber.
No, Yord.
Yord, that's what I meant. And
Is there any
like-
significance to the color of their lightsabers?
Kind of,
people.
but also not really.
Right.
there,
They
yeah,
represent
nothing.
like. Go ahead.
I would say there's nothing that's like official canon anymore.
Yeah.
Like the yellow lightsabers were in up until this point were traditionally carried by like the Jedi Temple guards. The blue lightsabers were was it the knowledge, and the
It's-
green were the warrior. Is that what the breakdown was?
Kind of, but it's like practitioners of different forces, like force forms, and like the lightsaber defense form, basically.
I mean, I guess there is a thing called
Oh, yeah.
Google that I could look at.
Yeah,
Green is
green. I
green
found
tend to
it.
be- like, yeah, it's not accurate anymore. But it was
Right.
like the guardians were the yellow ones for like the guards of the temple, like you said, and then like
Right.
I can't remember what the one that Obi-Wan's like defensive, but the defensive stance was tended to be like the blues because they use a more defensive like style.
Right.
There's another level of Star Wars nerd where they know all the different Jedi.
Yeah, because
Fighting
like
styles.
just remember, Mace Windu's purple also represented a super aggressive form.
yeah.
Figures.
Like- His defense was offense.
Well, I mean, he could punch through a battle droid's face, so you know, like
Yeah,
he could jump. He could jump from 10,000 feet. Hint, hint.
so we get another mistake the Jedi's like to do. If you cooperate, I mean, we'll consider letting you go with a warning. I mean, this
Yeah,
guy
right.
sells poison. Why aren't you just arresting him for facilitating a murder?
He doesn't seem like such a bad guy, despite his like procuring poisons.
Right?
I mean, he's Jason Mendoza. How bad could it be?
Yeah, he seems like kind of a nice guy, other than the whole murder thing.
But there's apparently a idea about the Jedi. It's like, please don't do the memory wipe thing. Like,
You know
Is
that,
that-
you know
is
that
that-
Yord's doing that though. You know Yord is like Jedi mind tricking, and then like you remember none of this.
right, like he's men in blacking it.
Yeah.
Like, look into the light,
Mm-hmm. And every time they do that, you're getting a little brain damage.
right? Oh man.
I don't know if any of you guys watch What We Do in the Shadows, because
Of course.
it's like, okay, so remember like they've like gotten what's his name, Tony, so many times, where he's just like his brain is mush.
The neighbor, yeah.
Yeah,
Where they go to watch the superb
superb
owl. Yeah.
yeah. I assume the same thing happens when you get like mind tricked.
So the dude in the store tells him to come back tonight and you'll be able to catch up with May. And so they do that. But they do it super freaking sloppy.
This
got-
team,
This team being sloppy, what? It's not the Bad Batch. They're not a well-oiled unit yet, if it ever even happens. So we got Jackie watching from the balcony that they were on, or no, at the ship. Yord watching from the balcony that they were all standing on earlier. And Osho wants to confront May directly. And Soul is like, no, you want revenge. Let me try to bring her back. Let me, he wants to save her. And Osha, she's like, you're one of the people that she wants to kill. There's 4 people on her list: Indara, Torben, Kelnaka, the Jedi Wookiee, and him,
Mhm.
Master Soul. And Soul decides to just go ahead and go in. They get the I don't know. I think this is kind of a weird shot. Let me go ahead and play it. Yord thinks he sees someone, so he's using these macronoculars or whatever. Like that's the clearest macro binocular image I've ever seen Star Wars.
They have a good budget.
He used his force on that, like the zoom.
I guess so.
Also,
So
he was really steady, like a professional cameraman getting a close up.
Right? Like he had his own like
I buy it though for super advanced optical tech, and
Mhm.
they'll have stuff like that eventually within a few years.
so I don't really get. So she throws a dagger at him, and it just like, did she mean for it to just be at his feet like that?
I think so.
Or is he like pushing things down with the force?
I felt like he did it, but again, I'm a noob in this universe, so I don't know.
And again, so we get some more kung fu action going on with some force blocks, and like she's on the attack and he's just on defense, trying to. It's like, you attack me without a weapon. Why? So we're starting to try to get into that. It looks more like a dance than a fight, and she's again trying to reach for the lightsaber. Like,
I gotta use the bathroom. Oops, sorry.
When is she going to succeed?
well,
Sorry, I thought I was on mute.
Mute yourself before that.
Sorry.
At least he wasn't specific about what
It's
he
been
had to
2
do.
hours.
The way she keeps going for like lightsabers, and the way they keep showing that she's going for lightsabers,
I fucked it up. I'm
she's
sorry.
going to succeed.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm. And what happens then?
What?
If she finally gets one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think if you can kill a Jedi with their own weapon, that's maybe some bragging rights. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think that's the entire intent, is that you come into the fight without the weapon and then
Right.
get one.
Right?
I like his masterful theft.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, where he takes all of her knives off of her.
Yeah.
Which is great.
She seemed even shocked by that, as confident as she seems to be in her abilities. She was like, oh.
Yeah, he got all of them, and like,
yeah. Well, seemingly.
Yeah.
There's, she always, the bad guys always have a trick up their sleeve, right?
Seems like he should know more, though, right? Because he's kind of like the teacher, the master.
Sensei.
There you go. Did you take us to the bathroom with you?
maybe.
So, but
I'm coming
but
up
she
on
did
my
have,
heart out, guys.
okay, but we're pretty close, Dan. She thinks her sister is dead, and they break the news to her that Osha is alive, and she's like, "What? You're a liar!" And she tries to throw her dagger she had hidden up her sleeve at him, and the other Jedi, oh God, what's his I already forgot his name again. Yord grabs a knife out of the air from her, and she just decides to run, and then they kind of back her into a corner, and she does the she ninjas them. She does ninja vanish.
Yeah, after the dumb Jedi girl was like, "You're under arrest. Give yourself up." Like she was
Yeah.
just going to go willingly.
Right at that point, yeah, the ship was overkill.
Yeah.
Like that, they weren't ready for that. She shouldn't have brought that in yet. But she's, wants to prove herself. She's a youngling
Yeah.
to an extent, and May kind of gets hit by a car, and then steals the car, but not before seeing her sister. And we get the sloppiest firing of some stun rings I've ever seen. Like stormtroopers get hit with a stun ring.
I still think it was on
It
purpose.
seems intentional, actually.
Yeah,
Like she had to squeeze off some shots so she looked good in front of the Jedi.
totally. So he didn't
That's what
say,
I thought.
"Why didn't
That's how
you?"
I read
Yeah,
this.
why didn't you
That's how I
shoot?
read it.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, I feel like she's better than those shots, so he still may question.
Right. But so after she escapes, Vernestra Rowe wants them to come back to the temple to discuss things. And Soul's like, no, we need to go after her now, and insists, he wants to go, and she's just like, no, you got to come back. And that's that's where she leaves it. And then we cut to a scene where the Jedi are still watching the shack, the store where the dude was selling the poison from, and he spots them, and then May tries to kill him, and he's like, I didn't sell you out. They came to me. It's like, I'll make it up to you.
Let's escape.
Right. And they're going to escape to a place called Kofar, which is a forest planet in the Outer Rim, where all the Wookiee where the Wookiee Jedi Kelnaka lives. So they take off, and we cut to the planet where Kelnaka lives. We got a couple scavengers that are speaking Huttese come up on a crashed ship that they intend to loot. They can't read the word that's painted on it, and we get Kelnaka looking like freaking Sasquatch.
I like how he just snaps his gun in half.
Yep. And they go running off, and that's I think that's is that it? Is that where it ends? Yeah, that's it.
So. I think he lets out a big growly harumph, and then
Yep, he roars, and they run away, and boom, we're done with the episode. And yeah, it and just in case anybody's like wondering, neither one of the episodes that had any kind of mid credits or end credit scenes or anything like that. That's why I didn't skim through the credits at all. But yeah, that was for the first two episodes of a series that I was really not too excited about. I'm very pleasantly surprised with this.
For someone like me who doesn't watch any of them, I'm definitely curious and definitely going to watch the rest of them, because now, two episodes kind of did it for me. I was like, okay, I can watch this.
Well,
what do you think?
Can you guys wait for me? I don't know.
No, they can't wait.
You want to give a last word and split, Dan? Is that what's going on back there?
Yeah, because
who is that? Is that Tomer?
Yeah, Mel just went live on Spotify for her first single.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah,
it just dropped right now.
What's it called?
Marl Superstar.
All right,
Marl Superstar or something.
Yeah, Superstar.
I don't remember.
We're gonna listen to it in about a second.
All right.
But yeah, it's surprising that you actually like the show because I thought you were going to hate it. So there's that. That's all I have to say. All right, guys, I'll
Danamalore
catch you later.
out.
Cool.
I don't know how to do this actually.
What do you want to do?
Hit that
There
red
you go.
X.
You want to leave?
Yeah. All right.
So even the
Cool.
actor that plays Yord, I was looking at this while you guys were talking and just kind of like familiarizing myself a little bit. And of his character, Charlie Barnett says he's one of the Jedi who lives in a black and white kind of world. I often thought of him as a person on a police force who is so overcommitted to their job and justice that they don't actually see the levels or layers of justice that actually exist.
Yep.
He also says it's about the rules and structure. He has no space for the uncontrolled. And I think that it's, in a way, his reaction to trying to control his own existence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems accurate. Yep.
Yeah,
That was the impression I got. Can't
Yeah.
let go of the job.
right. Yeah, the overcommitment is palpable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like how
Okay.
he's like the arbiter of truth and justice, like so far. It's like,
Right.
that is the truth. Like, I know it to be. He did it twice.
Right.
So
Well,
I have a feeling though, he might turn out to be not terrible in the end.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Him kind of letting go of that a little bit.
Or the alternative is he becomes basically the primary antagonist of the show through his single-minded focus on
Right.
or constantly destroying what they're trying to do.
Mhm.
But I feel like Jackie did that a little bit with the pulling the ship up too soon.
Yeah.
You know.
That annoyed me, and I don't even, like I said, I don't know anything about this. I was like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?"
It's
Come with
well,
me,
you know,
you're under arrest.
Yeah, it was just the absolute worst moment for her to come in and do that.
yeah.
Her timing was bad.
She created the distraction.
She
that May
revealed the
needed.
distraction. Yeah. She inspired the distraction.
She should have. She waited just a little bit longer.
Yeah, because May seemed like she felt like she was in a corner. Like she was like, "Shit, well, I don't know if I can say that. Crap." You know.
We're far enough into the episode. I think it's the first few minutes where you can't cuss.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much.
And if someone's in here 2 hours deep, you know.
And we didn't say the S word for Torben's ending, his unaliving.
Yeah.
Yeah, his unaliving himself. Yeah, that was. Oh, but yeah, it's. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very pleasantly surprised with this series. I hope it's not like that article you mentioned a little while ago, Kate.
Well, I don't think that we're of those mindsets of these people that are talking about this, so I think it'll be fine for us.
Right. But they were like, longtime fans are going to be okay with the first couple episodes. Well, I'm a longtime fan and I'm okay with the first couple episodes.
Right.
Again,
Again,
something dramatically anti-Star Wars. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
honestly, the byline of that article was that you're going to get pronouns or something, and I think this person was offended by that, and I don't think any of us are. None of us are offended by that, so that's not going to ruin anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they should have kept that to themselves.
They should have kept that to themselves. Some things just don't need to be said, especially when it doesn't contribute anything meaningful.
When you're just trying to sow the seeds of dissension is just
and looking for clicks, like we had said earlier. Those
engagement farming,
right? Yeah.
It's
one other thing before you click off. Also, just reading this thing about Charlie Barnett, who plays your favorite Yord, is a longtime fan of the Star Wars galaxy with a deep appreciation for Clone Wars and Bad Batch. So maybe he's like extra committed to the overcommitment of his Jedi role.
I think he also had an interview flub like last week or the week before where he said something about Anakin blowing up the Death Star,
Oh,
which is
Not a thing.
no, pretty sure
No.
Luke did that.
right.
Vader,
See,
Vader
I
was
don't even
spinning off
know.
into space somewhere.
Right.
But people do get nervous and they say the wrong words. It
Yeah.
happens.
Totally.
It happens to even the
Also,
top politicians in the
if-
country.
Was it at like a press junket? Because you have to sit there for like 3 straight days and answer the same questions over and over and over
Yeah.
again, and they're kind of mind numbing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I can I can understand misspeaking.
Yeah, and then you get the people like just watching or listening like for the tiniest little flub, and they're
For
just
them
all
to
over it.
Yeah. So they could post our article or their video. It's,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Can't wait. Oh look. Dog
Hey. Nice.
I had to do it. They swam, so they were nice and quiet during the stream.
shot.
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna come here. Oh, I heard you show dogs on your stream now.
Hey, if we can do it in a positive way, I'll definitely use the dogs for clicks.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's about it.
All right. Later.
We'll be back again next week for episode 3. Hopefully, it'll be a lot shorter stream since it's only going to be one episode. But hopefully,
Let's see how long the runtimes are for that one.
Right? They haven't released any of that kind of stuff yet, right?
It'll probably be more like a 43, I assume.
Right? Yeah.
They just slapped these two together and then made like an hour 10, hour 15.
Yeah. It'll probably be 40 minutes
Mm-hmm.
episodes for the run of the show. But yeah,
I don't see a title or anything, but I also probably don't look in the right place.
Yeah.
It does not say the runtime.
Yeah, you gotta go look at some like hateful stuff to like go see
To find it, right?
You gotta go on one of those hate sites. It'll have everything.
So yeah. So that's it. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks to everybody who watched at home. What was I supposed to say? Yeah, please like, share, subscribe. We'll be back
Smash
next
that
week.
button.
And smash, yeah.
And click the bell.
Oh yeah, click the bell for when we're gonna come back on, but it should be around 7:00 Pacific time next week, on the Wednesday. And with that, may the force be with you, and we out.